welcome to our webinar today. So today we're going to be talking about websites, all things websites. And I wanted to choose this topic for a couple different reasons. First of all, I don't know why. I've never done this topic before. When it comes to websites, your website is probably one of, if not the most important asset that you have, because everything else that you do is built off of it. The prospect list that you build, the information, your social media channels are probably accessed mostly from your website. So many other things happen here on your website. And yet we've never dove in and talk about the things you should be doing on your website to make it as effective as possible. And the second thing is I'm just coming off of a few big conferences, Funnel Hacker, Traffic and Conversion in Social Media Marketing World, which, by the way, Social Media Marketing World in San Diego, by far my favorite event. Traffic and Conversion is second, and Funnel Hacker is fantastic. It just seems to be for newer businesses. So if you're kind of new into the business and getting used to funnels, it's a fantastic conference to go to. But in all of these, really a lot of topics came around websites, and I even learned a lot of things that we've changed on our website as a result of what we've learned in these conferences that I just thought it was cool to share. So we just did a couple different sessions on like 20, 30 different things that you could do with social media, but we still never really talked a lot about websites. And I wanted to go ahead and take this opportunity to do that, to talk a little bit more about something we haven't talked a little bit more about before, which is websites. So that being said, let's dive in. First thing you should know is that websites are not really expensive to be able to build if you do it the right way. Our website that we had before this cost us like $10,000, and we got a discounted rate from the company that built it. This one we had built ourselves using our own website guy using WordPress. So if you want to use the templates we give you, it's a fantastic place to start. So if you go to universityofbusinesscredit.com, these are the templates that you get as a partner with us. These are a fantastic way to start. Just like we started with a starter site, and then eventually as we started to produce revenues, we ended up eventually getting one that cost more money, and then we found out a cheaper way to get something that was even better for what we wanted. So my advice to you is to, if you want to use our website, great. I'm going to give you a bunch of tools that you can add to the University of Business Credit site. This is all fully customizable. WordPress site's a great place to start. And then eventually, if you want to progress to a site closer to what we have, it doesn't cost a lot of money to do. The steps are that you're going to, want to find a look and feel. When we designed ours, we had about 5 samples of what we liked. We had a pretty good idea of the exact layout. We had the content created for every single section. We had the images already picked out. So that's really more of building a website. I don't think we even spent $1,000 with our website guy to get our website up. It might have even been, I don't think it was more than $1,000. And I'm not saying that's not a lot of money. I'm saying that's something you shouldn't do now. It's something you should consider to do down the road. But just know that if you're building a website, a large part of it's not the cost, it's a matter of your time. Researching, like this feature where we scroll, the image stays in place. That's a feature that we wanted. We wanted there to be short sections that just summarize everything. We wanted there to be this light and this dark contrast. So these pictures are ones that we chose, right? And then we had our graphics guy insert the images that we wanted in every single picture, for example. So that's more of the work. It's just finding your images. It's finding your site designs. It's writing your content. And those will be things that you're probably going to want to do down the road as you progress and start succeeding. Maybe you've already done that. So let's talk about some of the core things that you should be doing with websites. My first advice to you is to build your website on mobile. It's already now that over 50% of people that are searching are doing most of their searches on mobile. And I learned that with our last website. We designed it all based on PC. And then when I looked on mobile, it looked like absolute crap. So this time what we decided to do was we built the whole thing on mobile, and then we looked and see what it looked like on PC. As a matter of fact, You should also check it on different browsers because it looks different on Google Chrome than Internet Explorer. But anything you're doing that I'm going to show you today, make sure that you do on mobile first because that's where most people are searching. Okay, so let's start at the top and just kind of go through some things here. Obviously, your contact information has to be readily accessible. I cannot tell you how many sites I've been on where I have no idea how to get in touch with them, and it really is ridiculous. Or even worse, the only way to get in contact with them is to fill out a contact us form. And I just had that exact same experience, as a matter of fact, today when I was looking into, because I'm testing out this new idea of possibly advertising on podcast. It's fairly cheap to do, and I think it might be something that can work for all of them. So I went ahead and I found this podcast advertising company here. I did my research. They look to be the best. They have ones like this, and I've reached out to them now twice, and neither time have they got back to me. So I went to their contact, and the only thing that they allow you to do on their contact form basically is fill out a form. Okay. Well, that's fine, but if I fill it out, I expect to get a near immediate response. And then the second thing is you can sign in. So I went to set up an account and also had it too. Now they have their email and phone. I contacted them there, wasn't necessarily able to. And by the way, I didn't even recognize this in the beginning, but you want to make sure it's readily accessible. So one of the things you want to do is actually get your phone number, your contact information right up where it stands out. Again, we have something it's light on a dark color, so that stands out. The second thing, an interesting thing, are social media links. Now, I personally think social media links are very important on a website, and here's why. I've said this before. When I research a company, what I like to do is I like to see how big their social media presence is, for one, and the kind of engagement they're getting on their social media channels, for two. Are people liking? Are people commenting? Are people sharing? And do they really have a decent sized following? You know, if I'm going to work with a company that focuses in podcast advertising, I don't want somebody that has 26 or 100 likes on the page. We're now getting ready to hire somebody to help us with our social media marketing, our social media management. And, you know, when they're saying this is the person I worked with, I'm going to see what kind of engagement did those other channels have. So putting your main channels that you advertise and links to do so in the top and bottom of your page makes sense. But here's the kicker. You don't want to make it really predominant. You don't want to make it necessarily stand out, because think about this. Is it good that people go and see your social media? Absolutely. But the problem is that every time they do that, they're leaving your website. And isn't that against what you really want them to do? What you really want them to do more than likely is take an action on your website. Again, something else we'll talk about in a second. You need to know what you want your audience to do. But you don't want to make your links predominant, because if they are, then you're attracting people to immediately leave your website and go somewhere else. This is a problem for multiple reasons. One, you really don't want them to leave your site. You spend all the time and energy getting them there. And two, Google is looking at your site and the relevance of your website based on the time that somebody is spending on that website page. It's primarily the main driver. How much time are they spending on that web page determines how much authority your website will be given. So anything that links away from your website, you have to be really cautious about. But again, we know people like social. We know people go looking for it, so we don't want them to have to look hard on the bottom and the top. We want to make sure it's there. And by the way, our contact info should be on the bottom of our page, and it's not. That's something we're going to change. So again, put the main social channels, but don't make them stand out. Now, when it comes to navigation bars, to be honest, we don't do this the right way, and I've recently realized this, because Google likes searchable lists, and they like these kind of searchable indexes. So what we did was, you should really have drop downs and have multiple options for every option you're giving them there. So business credit should be 3 or 4 different things they can click on, not just one. And we could change this, and we probably will. So for example, we could break this down into sections. You know, how to build, what business credit is, the steps to build business credit, business credit approvals, business credit benefits. Well, by doing that, we're giving people a drop down here, which is nice because it still keeps the site clean, but it really works well for Google. Now we've got multiple ways we can rank with Google. The first thing they're seeing is these links: business credit benefits, business credit steps. And then if they click business credit steps, then they automatically go to this bottom section down here, for example. So that's something that we're in the process of working on. You can see we've already done that with our credibility. Credibility was easy because we already had multiple links, so we just made those into a drop-down menu. But your main thing, like business loans, what we really should be doing here is we should have business loans, and then we should list every single one of these different types of loans, and then those loans can all be searchable right here. So if somebody comes above business loans, they see all the different loan options. And what that helps us do is rank every single one of those searches with Google. Again, something we're in the process of doing right now that we've recently discovered. Wow, never thought of that. But this is why some of these best search sites have these drop downs. It keeps your URL bar clean, but then it also helps them better find what they want. You want my credibility? Well, what do you want? You want better business bureau rating? You want Trustpilot reviews? You want press coverage? What do you want? And then the next thing we need to do is you really want to come in and then break these pages down to as many subcategories as possible as a drop down, which again helps you have more appeal to Google. Believe it or not, and I don't know what to do with this yet, we will change it, and I'll show you in a second how I know this, but the client login button is one of the most popular buttons that people click on our website. That's weird. Never would have known that. I'm going to show you exactly how we figured that out. So again, maybe even putting something in between the actual login or an advertisement of some sort where they could get a guide before they log in would make sense. That way people that aren't your actual customers aren't going just your login page, but they're actually going to a page that says, hey, click here to log in, or click here to grab your free guide, and that way it can appeal to everybody. Now, how do I know this? Well, we use a service called True Conversion, and True Conversion's like super, super cheap. I don't know how much they are. I'm pretty sure they're less than 30 bucks a month. They could even be like 30 bucks like a year. I don't know how much they are. But what True Conversion does is True Conversion gives you things like this that are called basically heat maps. And what heat maps let you do is they let you see where people have actually moved their cursor, where they've clicked, where they've scrolled, and you can get detailed reports on all of this information. So this tells you, for example, where people are clicking, and in doing so, you're able to come in, and this is a pretty bad example here. So let me find a better one here. Let me try our business credit page. Okay, and it tells you basically where people are clicking, so you can then come in and figure out what you should be doing with that information. For example, are you getting what you want to get out of it? So this is what's called a heat map, and this is super cheap and super simple to install if you just have the little bit of code installed on your website. I don't do that. I have a web guy that does that, but it would be fairly easy if you have any WordPress experience. And you can basically see where people are clicking. We can see the social media clicks that people are looking at. Nobody's really clicking on these others. We can see that. We can see everybody's looking for business loans. Look at that. So that's a good amount of clicks, 342 versus, well, most of them are on the business credit page already. So we can see what people are interested in. Okay. And then we can also see here. So we can see a ton of clicks here. This is working really well. 182 people have clicked here. Okay, so we know that this form is working, which is what we want. The purpose of our website is we want somebody to opt in. So are we accomplishing that? Well, if we look at we look at this heat map, we can see, yes, we are. We can see that clearly a lot of people are coming right here. Now, this can't be correct. 163% of all clicks aren't here because it's more than 100%. Pretty good with math. But we can see that it's working. We can also see that what's not working is what we want to have happen. So we see all these people clicking all in this area here, these little clicks here, little clicks here. But what we're not seeing is people click on the video. And this is actually what we want to have. The whole primary goal is we wanted to put video on the website and have video be what people are engaging with. And when you look at this, we see that less than 0.1% are clicking on the video. So you can see that we fix that by adding this motion GIF image right here. with arrows pointing down. And this is one of the crazy things that I just learned looking through this case study. There was all these case studies of an arrow pointing to a form, a person looking at a form, all these different variants. And what they found was a simple arrow pointing to a form got dramatically the best result. So we said, well, arrows work, motion works, let's combine them. So we're doing this because we realize that our primary goal of getting people to watch a video is not working. Very few people are actually doing what we want them to do. So again, heat maps using a service like True Conversion, and you can find other services, but they're so cheap that you probably don't need to look for another service. Is what you're doing working? Look, the consultation form, is that working for us? Yeah, it's working. We're having a lot of people click on that, okay? We don't expect a lot of people to be clicking on the video yet because we just installed that. We just installed this. We don't expect people to be clicking. You can see here, we just installed this, so there's no clicks as of yet. You can see what's interesting down here is nobody's really clicking in these steps at all. And that's okay. There's too many primary purposes to a website that you need to know. The first is people that really just want information. And that's why your website should have a bunch of information on it, right? So you can see here we have a lot of different information available for those that may want it. And we even do it in a little sub-menu type format. So we don't have to have some massive scroll to get all the info. They can have this little sub-menu to access that. Okay, the second purpose is for people that are actually all ready to take action. Maybe they're ready to grab a free guide. Maybe they're coming in and wanting to look at your pricing. So what you need to do is you need to speak to both people. You need to think about what people are asking. And this can easily be done by surveys to your people or even looking at reviews people leave. So what are people saying? What are people asking? What are people celebrating? You know, the website should do a good job of answering people's questions before they even ask it. So if you go to our page and say, well, what do these guys do? Well, they do business credit and loans. Okay, well, you know, or this actually isn't our homepage, but if you come to our page, it's easy because you say, well, what do you do? Well, you can see above the fold before I scroll, build your business credit. That's the primary thing we want people to do. Get business credit, build your business credit. That's what we want people to know. But you can also see that very clearly without a lot of work, you can see what else we do. Get business loans and credit lines, get paid offering business credit financing, and a company can trust credibility. So we promote our credibility, but we see here that these are pretty simple, the things we do, and within seconds, people can figure that out. But even better, somebody that comes and looks right at the center of your header should be able to clearly look at it and within seconds know what you do, which is exactly what we do. So what we want is we want to have a combination on a website, right? We want to make sure we have a lot of information for those people that want the information, especially because it keeps them on our pages longer. We also want to make sure that we come in and that we are capturing what we want. We're giving the people that are ready to take action what they need. The people that are ready to give us an email, the people that are ready to come in and check out our pricing. We want to give those people all the information that they need as well. So True Conversion, again, can come in with this heat mapping and tell you, are you doing a good job of accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish? Are you getting people to fill out your form? That's a huge success with us. Look at that. I don't, obviously 100, maybe this says like 1.6%. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Well, let me zoom in. No, it definitely says 163%. It definitely, I just lost it. Okay, so it definitely is saying, no, it's not. It's like 2%. Okay, so that's still a lot of clicks, 182 clicks. So of all the clicks, and we're looking, of course, at all the clicks across the site. We're looking at these. We're looking at everything. But you can still see, just without even looking at percentages, we are accomplishing what we want. The main thing we want to do is we want people to fill in that guide, and the heat map tells us that is working. Is the second way we're getting information working, the consultation form. You can clearly see down here with all the clicks that clearly is working as well. But it's also interesting because look where else people are clicking. People are clicking here, and we don't have anything here. So this is a good indication that you maybe want to put something there for them to access when they click. And I'll give you an example. If you go to our pricing page, heat maps showed us that people were clicking here. We never thought about that at all. We just put the description of what they get. We didn't think people were clicking, and people were desperately clicking in all these little boxes. So you can see now when you hover your mouse, you see a detailed explanation of every single benefit, every single item we have listed. So it's not obnoxious. Again, if you come in, you can clearly see the details we want you to see. But if you're hovering your mouse above it, then you're getting those additional details that people were clicking trying to get. So again, we found a way to put a bunch of information available for those that want it without being obnoxious for those people that don't. How do you know that? Again, it really comes down to using a service like True Conversion that gives you that heat map data that kind of lets you know what people are actually doing to make sure that the logical and educated decisions that you're making are working. And again, the perfect example for us, we came in, we were so excited about putting these videos and nobody was clicking on them. So again, now we test, will this work? What else can we do to get people to engage with that? Heat mapping is what tells you those simple things. So again, now as we get down to this area, well, what we're looking at now is what do you do? Center of your website should clearly tell people within seconds what you do. Get business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your SSN. That's it. That's what we do. We deal with business credit. That's primarily what we do. Is that all we do? No. But we don't want to put get loans and credit lines and all these other things. We want to leave it simple as you possibly can. You also see in our header that what we're looking to do here is one simple thing. What we want people to do is grab a free guide, period. That's what we want. We want them to come in and grab a free guide. And that's why what we do in a free guide is all in one. It's all part of the same thing because we're trying to accomplish two things. Tell people clearly what we do, which is what you should be doing, and capture their information, which is one of the primary objectives of a website. Look, guys, if you think people are coming in and going, oh, business loans, that's so nice, it's so pretty, I'm going to read all this, and then we'll come in and we'll click here and look at this, you're wrong. If you go to Google Analytics, your analytics will say that people are on and off your website oftentimes in seconds. So you have limited time to make sure that you get whatever you need to get from them while they're there. And in our world, all we care about is getting people into the funnel, which is why you'll see forms all over our website, including front and center on most pages. Now, I've heard and recently learned that if you want to get content shared, these share bars are the best to put right here on the left-hand side. I don't know if that's true or not. What we're going to do is we're going to heat map. Now that we have this here, we're going to run more tests. We're going to heat map to actually see, is this working? Are people clicking over here and actually sharing? I don't know. If they're not, we get rid of it. Okay, because it's just a distraction. If they are, then again, what happens here is we know that that's actually effective. So as we scroll down again, you want to then provide more information about what you do. What we do is different. Nowadays, a lot of people have this really long scroll that gives all their information. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Don't know. Haven't read the studies on it. That's not what we were going after. What we were going after is we do three things, and we want to put those three things as obvious right here as possible. The second thing is, are your images relevant? So for example, this isn't the guy we had here originally because we had a guy with crazy hair that looks like a young millennial holding up two handfuls of credit cards. And that's what we wanted. We didn't want somebody holding one handful of credit cards. We wanted two. And believe it or not, in all the stock images we looked at, we couldn't find that besides this one guy. The problem is the one guy wasn't speaking to our demographic. Our demographic is a middle-aged man, 44 years old on average. So what we did was we wanted to make sure the guy we put here, and it is a guy, and so we wanted to make sure that the person we put here was a guy that kind of fit that demographic. Now, again, we deal with people in the mid-30s all the way to the mid-50s. So we wanted to make sure that we had people here that kind of were in the mid-30s up to the mid-50s to speak to our target demographic. People want to see success from people just like them. Also, you can see that our images really reflect our culture. We're fun. This is who we are. And you have to kind of develop who your culture is too, and just make sure that your actual website reflects that, right? So there's a reason we chose this crazy guy here. I mean, that's just a funny image. Because when you look at an image like this guy with the blue shirt, or this girl right here, or this guy, it makes you laugh, it makes you smile, it makes you feel good, it makes you happy. And that's what we're looking for. That's our culture. It's positivity. It's having fun. It's, being able to make getting money for your business fun. And so our images really reflect that. So you can see that we're not coming in with this get business credit loans and just showing a stack of money. We're actually showing this crazy guy here in the flannels kind of celebrating. We're having this little girl giggling, this lady here giggling, right? We've got this crazy guy here with the beard. So again, the images are reflective of our culture, and these aren't even any of the images that we first started with. Every one of these has been swapped out to make sure that the images fit our culture and also fit our demographic. Now, what's interesting is that about 60% to 65% of the best websites have social proof most of the best websites, they have about 60 to 65% of their pages be what's referred to as social proof. It's proof, it's evidence, it's testimonials, it's reviews, it's anything that reflects some kind of social proof. So we're doing a lot more of this. So for example, you can see we have our Trustpilot widget right down here. And I absolutely do not recommend Trustpilot to any of you. I don't think we'll be continuing with Trustpilot. And I told you when we got started that we were going to do this as a test. They've made it very difficult to get reviews, and they're way too much money for the service that they provide. But Yelp, Facebook, there's a lot of different widgets, and I'll show you a new one we're testing. You can plug in here to have reviews done just like you see here. But you should have a place where you have reviews like this that are on your website. It's very, very, very important. Now, another thing you should be doing, and this is something that we are getting ready to do right now, and I'll show you exactly, we don't have it on our website yet, but I'll show you one that does. So this is Credit Repair Cloud. They are a credit repair software. We're actually speaking at their event here in May at Credit Repair Expo. And Credit Repair Expo has this right here, and it's by a company called Proof. And this has really statistically proven to be successful as well, because people like to do things that other people are doing. They like to share in the success that other people are having. And you can see that with Proof, we're showing here, and I'll show you as one comes up. Melvin from Lake Arrowhead, California, recently requested a ticket. So you can see here that this integration integrates with your website. We are getting ready to install this to show actions that people are taking right here, which Edward, what's up? I know Edward. So you can see the actions that people are taking right here on the bottom left of their actual screen using Proof. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Proof so we can see a little bit more about it. So Proof puts these little messages on the bottom of your screen, and so people can see these type of things, see these social proof. And again, all of the statistics I've looked at this show this to be highly effective. So that's something we're adding as social proof. So when you look at social proof, what we've got is the whole bottom of our page here is Trustpilot. We're going to have that down here as well on our home page. And we're looking for and then we've also got our credibility right here. But there's even more things we can and should be doing on our main page to get that social proof. Don't forget chat. Chat has proven to be very successful with us, very successful. And what we found is that we're in a world today, and I don't know about you, but you ever get frustrated when somebody calls you anymore? I mean, that's the world we live in. It's like we don't even want to be contacted by phone anymore. We want to be contacted by another way. So I just got off a demo for a software we were looking at. I told her, I said, I'm a little bit frustrated that I have to do a pre-15-minute phone call with you just to see the product. I just want a demo. I don't really want to have a conversation about seeing the demo. And that really is what we're doing as a society anymore. So having a chat where somebody can engage with you on chat on your website makes a lot of sense. Even if you give them an option of getting a free guide, hey, any questions? Type them in below. You can also grab your free guide right here. So we're again giving them another chance to opt in and asking them to engage if they have questions. Now, we are getting ready to replace this with another service that integrates with Facebook Messenger. We tried it before, but it was in its infancy. We didn't like the look and feel on our website. There were things we couldn't change. Now that's progressed a little, and it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because Facebook Messenger is becoming another big place that you should be building a list. And so if we're going to have people engage with a chat, well, then we might as well be building a list at exactly the same time. And I can't tell you a service to do this yet because I don't know. I will tell you when I do, but we're still testing some services out to figure who will replace our chat. And instead of just chatting, they'll be able to actually chat and start a message in Facebook Live or Facebook Messenger. Why does that make sense? A couple reasons, right? Have you ever engaged with a chat and it said somebody will be with you shortly, and then you went about your day, and then you forgot, you went back to it and realized the chat was closed and the person left because you didn't respond when they came in? I've been there. I don't know about the rest of you. Well, that doesn't happen with Messenger. When you engage with Messenger, even if you forget about it and go back, that conversation is still going. So there's a lot of benefits beyond building a list that makes sense for you to integrate with your chat with your Messenger. Also keep in mind that we use Zendesk, and we use Zendesk for a lot of things because a lot of things pull into Zendesk. And so Zendesk, our chats automatically create Zendesk tickets. So our team is automatically notified when a chat actually is enabled, when a chat begins. And even when people leave comments on our social media channels, it also creates tickets in Zendesk as well. So there's a lot of these integrations based on the CRM or whatever service you're using that makes sense for your chat to integrate, to interact with those, or again, do what we're going to be doing, which is switch to Facebook Messenger. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. Now we're on the business credit page. You can see clearly now our wording isn't as much because we're just telling them exactly what you want to do. Build your business credit. Grab your free 4-step business credit building guide. So notice here on our main pages from home, business credit, and loans, we have opt-in forms in the header on all 3 of those actual pages. Okay, so we do that because, again, the primary purpose for us, if you're going to be on our website, is going to be to actually get your information. Why? Well, a lot of reasons. Like I said, a lot of people abandon the site fairly quickly. But another reason is that if we're going to spend the money on SEO to be able to get people driven to our website, which, by the way, just so you know, we're succeeding a lot there with a lot of keyword terms: business credit building program, business credit building programs, business credit. We're even moving up the ranks. And guys, we budget $1,000 a month for SEO and are having those kind of results. I'm not saying that's not a little bit of money. We grew to a point where we could eventually afford that. But what I am saying is to pay a reputable service for SEO. And we've had, if you look back in your back office, we've had our company that we use on our webinar to go through what they do. So to have a reputable company that's doing your SEO can cost you $500, $1,000 a month, and eventually you start to get a lot of good rankings. So it's worth paying for. But if you're going to drive people to your website, you darn well better be able to convert them. And that's why you want to put opt-in forms as much in your header as predominant to say what you're doing on that page and giving people the option to opt in. Now, you can also see we bold the main things. We use bullets to create separation in the content, so you're not just reading all the content here. You can see, again, we're using a motion GIF image now to get people to take the action we need. You don't need to do this. You could just use an arrow, as I've said, is proven to get the most results. We're using motion GIF to test this out. Okay, we incorporate video because we think video is the big part of what people are looking for and searching. This is one of the most valuable pieces of real estate we have, which is why we carried it over to our partners' websites, because for some reason, people love this form. They love to register for these business credit loan consultations. It's one of the biggest amount of leads we get, even equivalent to our opt-in forms in the header. So offer a free consultation. And when you do any kind of form, the statistics show that switching from second person to first person in the call to action is the most effective way to get people to take action. What I'm saying there is I go from enter your information for your no cost consultation to the button, the call to action says, yes, please give me my free guide. So the statistics show that this is exactly what works best, that you switch from second person, enter your, to first person. Yes, please give me my free guide in the call to action button. Now, statistics also show that if you provide something else like a quote or a testimonial here, that you'll get even better results. Don't know if I'm going to try that or not. I like the simplicity of this without the complication of a quotation. But again, statistics do show that a testimonial right here, a testimonial about what somebody did with the free guide, would perform even better. We just decide to keep it simple, and maybe we'll test that at some point and maybe we won't. So again, we've got bullets, we've got bolding, and we clearly say, here's what we help you do. Because you have to keep in mind, people don't read, people scroll. That's what people are doing nowadays. So, okay, we come in, build your business credit, get credit for your EN. It's not like your social. I'm skipping all this. Credit builder, okay, full service. Here, Credit Suite helps you. Here's all that really matters. What we help you do. Set up your business, set up and activate your credit file, set up initial credit, access credit. Okay, types of credit we help you access. So you can see when people scroll, they see the main things we want them to see, and all the rest of it, maybe they look at it, maybe they don't. And then again, we're promoting the video with a colorful button that stands out. We put benefits here. This is something new we're testing. Actual something it shows real approvals people are getting to push them to the real approvals page. Don't know if this is going to work or not. The reason we wanted to do this is because of social proof. You know, when I realize how effective social proof is, we want these pages to have a bunch of social proof. So look at what we've done. Reviews, okay? Down here we have actual results people are getting. We have testimonials. We have Trustpilot. And then again, bottom left, we're going to have that proof. So proof will be down here. So when you look at that, we've got proof 1, we've got Trustpilot 2, we've got testimonials 3, we've got this results 4, we've got this reviews 5. So on this one page, we have 5 different kinds of social proof. Reviews from one source, reviews from a second source, testimonials, and then we're also coming in with actual real results. So now we're trying to put as much social proof on there as possible. Again, don't know if this is going to work. We'll let you know the results, which brings me to So Tell Us. So this is a brand new widget that we're really excited about testing. And I hope you will be so kind to leave us a review. You'll be getting an email probably later this week to request that you do. So Tell Us is a brand new company that we are just now recently starting with, and they're super cheap, guys. They are like $99 a month, and I'm not saying it's not a lot of money for a lot of you, but I'm saying that when it comes to reviews, we spend $500 a month for Trustpilot, which is a ripoff. So Tell Us really promotes, it does a couple different things. First of all, what So Tell Us does is it gives people the ability to easily leave reviews through video, audio, or text, and it promotes video. So what our thought is that this is going to work really well to get people to give video reviews because it's so easy. The second thing it does, it aggregates your reviews from other sources. So what you're looking at right here is the aggregation of real reviews on Google and Facebook, etc. Now, we don't have a bunch of stuff here because we haven't promoted So Tell Us at all. We just installed the widgets on the website. I'm meeting with them tomorrow, and then I'm going to promote it to everybody and hopefully get a bunch of reviews so I can tell you how this works. I don't recommend Trustpilot. I think it's too much money, and I think it's too difficult to get reviews. And So Tell Us makes it pretty simple to even come in and get video reviews, which makes a bunch of sense. And I'm trying to see here real quick. I don't actually have the page. I wish I did have the page that shows you. Actually, maybe I will. So let me look at this and let me figure out. Okay, so we can see here it pulls in Facebook, Google Plus. Okay, we can see all of that here. And then I'm trying to figure out how to get people. There's a link to be able to get invitations. Okay, so here it is. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so that's not what I'm looking for. Share your invitation page. Okay, so this is just the way that it is. It looks different on mobile. Okay, so you can come in and do your reviews. It looks really good on mobile where they give you 3 different options. You could do a video review, you could do an audio review, you could do a text review. And I think this is going to be very effective. What I think and believe is that this is going to do a very good job of getting us video reviews. And if that's correct and it's accurate, then this is going to be huge and powerful because now we're going to have a widget that's showing video reviews of people as well as the static image testimonials as well as the actual written Trustpilot reviews. So I recommend SoTellUs from what I've experienced so far, but we haven't really started to get reviews and promote this. So I will tell you more about it. And if it actually is what I think it is, I'll bring them onto a webinar, have them give you a discount and a free widget and all this extra stuff to make it easy for you to use. But I don't know them yet. Let me test it out. Let us spend the money. Let us figure out that the thing does what it's supposed to do and it's as easy and people like it. And if it is, then I'll be able to come to you and say, look, this is really cool. You need to check this out. But this is a company site that we're testing here. So another form of social proof. Now we have some benefits here again. And then down here, we have really detailed information, right? We're catering to the people that want a bunch more information because we have to cater to them, but then we also need to simplify it, which is why we're putting it into different tabs and things like this, because we want the people that just want to come here and get the benefits and the highlights and the bullets, get what they want, and then the people that want more information can come in here. Then don't forget testimonials. If you're going to do testimonials, my advice is to do video testimonials. So if you look at our testimonials, all of our testimonials are actual video. And I think that video is something that most people want to watch, and it also makes it very real. But again, getting video testimonials has proven to be extremely difficult for us. We've tried many different ways to do it, and I'm hoping SoTellUs can help fix that problem. And then again, we have the Trustpilot integration here, which I would go with one that's better and cheaper than that. And again, SoTellUs, this widget they have is free. So even if you get reviews on Yelp, Google, and Facebook, if you push your people there for reviews, SoTellUs will aggregate all those reviews in one platform like this. So it might not even make sense for you to pay for a site at all. I wouldn't pay for a review service myself if I was just starting. What I would do is use Google, use Facebook, use Yelp. And then if you want an aggregator that aggregates them into one, then look at a company like SoTellUs. This widget would be free to use with them. So again, as we continue on here, business loans, we see the same theme, opt-in form, motion GIF pushing to images, bullets that make it simple for them to separate and see what we do, same consultation form because it works. Here's that same social proof with SoTellUs, the same share links here, a ton more information broke down into tabs so it's not overwhelming for the people that are just glancing, but there's a ton of additional details. And then again, the Trustpilot and the video testimonials, the chat, all the same features that we've talked about here. Now, by partner, we don't really have a free guide that goes with partner. So we didn't put an opt-in here. Here we're clicking to learn more, which goes to contact us. Here we're coming, actually, I think this actually plays this video. And then the same features, right? We see the same layout, we see congruency, we see the same kind of things here that we've seen on the other page with the social proof. The share links, the bullets, the video, the motion GIF, the consultation form, the SoTellUs, the actual bullets here, the testimonials, and then again, that social proof right there as well. Now, credibility is a big thing. And what I found with credibility, and I've said this a million times before, which is why we put a credibility on your partner website, is that most people are not going to go through all your reviews and your results and all that other stuff. I know, because when we did the heat mapping of our credibility page, what we saw was that when people look at things like actual business credit results, then they didn't even scroll down or click. They looked at a sum and then they scrolled and then they even stopped clicking. So we've already seen that that is pretty effective, just to make sure that you have overwhelming evidence on there. And so when you look at ours, we've got the Trustpilot, we've got the testimonial link. Now, again, if you put a testimonial page up here, the statistics are insanely low that people click on it. So don't put a bunch of weight into your testimonial page. Most people don't go there. But again, what we do here is just give overwhelming credibility without even having to look at details. We're A plus. We're 5-star Trustpilot rated. You can see just in the screens. You can see testimonials. You can see some reputable names in the press image here. You can see you can just see credibility without even clicking on any of these. And then again, when they click, they get a lot more detail. So what I've learned here, and I learned this in the credit repair business, nobody believed we could do what we could do. So I got upset because some of the best ideas, I'm like, screw you, I'll show you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a results page. And I took all the results we got showing our deletions, and I just put them on this one page. And of course, I crossed out all the privileged information from somebody so nobody could see their name and any of their info. And then it just became, by the time I sold my credit repair business, it just became this massive scroll. Like you could scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and you never see the bottom. All you kept seeing was results, 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 results. And then I had a credibility page with press releases and articles and things like this. So if you don't have credibility, then my advice to you is to use Fiverr. Write a couple press releases, which we even give you in your back office. Write a couple press releases about your company. Go to Fiverr and pay a company to do the press release. We just did our own press release again, to talk about NAV, to talk about biz equity, and then we have them release these to all different kind of sources, and then you can put those on your actual page. Articles you've written, press releases, you can control that. So again, if you're using our page, we already give you testimonials, we already give you results, we already give you a bunch of that stuff, but you can come here. For example, this is one of these press releases. We prepared, this isn't even working, so I'm going to have to change that. So this is an old press release that we had, and the press release basically just came in and linked to a press release that we put out there. Okay, so when we come in and look at this was an article that I wrote many years ago. So you can create your own articles and put them out to article directories. You could have press releases released. And again, my example is bad because this was years ago. So what we're going to do is basically remove that and put an updated press release on here versus the one that's obviously expired. So you can create your own. Now, I have a ton of media because I basically am on a lot of podcasts, and I'm on a lot of podcasts because I use a service by Jessica Rhodes, and she has a company called Interview Connections. And I'm not saying it's cheap. It's $350 a month. To be honest with you, I wouldn't recommend that you pay it right now because I don't necessarily make a bunch of sales that what I know of from my podcast. I do it for more exposure, but as you do get access to more funds, to spend $350 to get 4 interviews on pretty decent sized podcasts may be worth it for you. It's been worth it for me. I've been with Jessica and her company for about 2 years. I've been nothing but happy. And here's why. I've met a lot of cool people. First of all, I have these people on my podcast, which helps me fill my own guest slots. I get a bunch of exposures, and we're even able to go to these people and ask them how big their audiences are. And we do JV webinars for them. So she's getting me pretty high level connections that have our audience. And then I'm able to talk to them before and after the interview. Great, man. You email, you have a pretty good sized database. Yeah, I've got, 15,000 people in my database. A guy told me today, he's got 30,000 people in my database. Well, we should do a webinar for you. We could do a webinar and make you a bunch of money by you promoting the webinar. And then we do the actual presentation. They say, oh, I love that idea. So again, the podcast, it works for us because we get guests for my podcast. We also are able to get JV partners to promote webinars for. And guys, if I get one JV partner a year to do a webinar, our webinars right now, we're testing this. It's so successful that it would literally pay for, it's insane. It would pay for 30 years. Yeah, it would pay for like 30 years of me paying Jessica to have me on these shows. So if you're wise and you use the actual connections you have, not only does this give you a ton of credibility, right? Because we're on all these shows, but we're meeting people and having them on our show. So it gave us the ability to have our own podcast. And then the second thing is we're meeting these people and saying, hey, let's do a webinar. We're doing our JV webinar, which I'm not going to talk about a lot today, but if you go back in your back office, I've shown you every aspect of what we do for our JV webinars. I'm even going to revisit it because we're having such great results and show you what we're doing. Okay, but then I'm able to get people to promote our webinars. And that more than pays for interview connections. So if you need a connection over there, let me know, or get with Interview Connections. It's a fantastic way to go. Again, if you're on a small budget, I don't recommend it as much. But if you've got a little bit of money in your budget to spend, this might be a good way to go. And we're now testing advertising on other people's podcasts as well. But again, you have to create the credibility that you have. So if you don't have this kind of exposure, then what you do is use the testimonials we give you. They're even on your website. Go to Google, go to Yelp, go to Facebook, and have your friends and people and promote everybody to leave some reviews for you, and then have some reviews and then promote those review sites. Okay, I've already told you you can rip our case studies and results. So you can take them from our website. So you have case studies and results. You can use those too. And then again, you can use Fiverr for articles and press releases to give yourself credibility there. And that's more than enough credibility that you may ever need. So you can see that we've got the credibility page there. Now, on pricing, we leave it pretty simple, right? We just basically break down our 3 different investment options. We've learned that people click, so we put here. We've also tested weekly payments. I don't even know how this is working. We may even want to go and move this back to monthly. You can see here that we've got these arrows pointing down now, testing to try to get them to watch the video. Here's a better look at So Tell Us that's bigger. And again, we have the same credibility aspects as we have on the rest of the site. So when it comes to blog, what we found works really well on websites is right here. It's another motion GIF image. So I actually would recommend, if we were going to put something like this in the right column of our regular pages, which we don't have room to do, it's really, really effective. Blog post opt-ins is one of the biggest opt-ins we have at our website because of this motion GIF image, and it's super easy for any graphics person to be able to create something like this for you. We have share links here, share links here. Here is that. Here is the So Tell Us again. Popular post here, a place to enter an email to get free tactics, another place to search here, and then we're doing a lot of content that we're releasing daily right now on our blog, and that's not easy. Eventually we grew to a point where we could hire a content person to write content for us, and we basically now as a result are able to release content every single day, 7 days a week, okay, which was our goal to do. Now I'll tell you right now that I wouldn't do this early on because we don't get views on our blog posts. Our blog posts have very few views. But again, these are the things that we're figuring out as a company. We wanted to get higher rankings with Google. We know we have to release ongoing and updated and consistent content. So we're trying to appeal to Google right now, and we're not doing a great job of it. But as I figure those things out, I will let you know what's worked and what hasn't. We have some theories of very long form content that we think can work, and we're going to be doing a lot of that, and I'll teach you. But again, right now, I wouldn't be in a rush to release content every single day because, again, it's not doing anything for us right now. This is a long-term play. It's not a short-term pace for itself play. But as you get a little bit more well-established and you have the money and budget to spend, it might be worth it for you to bring a content person in to release, to put regular content out, to get people to find you on Google. But again, that only works if you can get them to opt in. All these tools and tactics and hacks that I've taught you today will help you do just that. But these motion GIFs have proven to be very, very, very effective. I recommend that you put them on the side here. And I also recommend, if your actual blog post is big enough, to go ahead and put them in here as well. So some other things that I've found to be very, not I personally, that I've learned recently that's very effective is that Google looks at time on page as a big factor of relevance of content. And they also look at scrolling, clicks, stuff like this. So one trick is that all of our images, you can only see half of the image. So then that way you have to scroll to see the full image. It seems simple, but it's actually makes a lot of sense because we just made somebody stay longer and scroll, which are 2 indicators that they're actually looking for. Okay, the other thing that we've done is we've come here and added video that they can play on the site. Now notice when they play this that they are not leaving our website. So what we're trying to learn to do here is how do we get people to stay on our site as long as we can. Well, we all both know video is very very productive with that. So you can see here we have it. They have to scroll to see the image. We see video, and when they play the video, they're not clicking to go anywhere else. They have to stay on our website to watch the video. So if they're going to watch this video, I don't even know how long this is. It doesn't say, but that's going to be all the time they're going to watch this video. They're going to be on our website to do it, which is effective, right? That's what we want. Here's another video on it. So why are we doing this? We're doing it because, again, we know the time on site matters. So we want to give them as many things that they can do on our page as they possibly can, right? So here we've got images here. We've got a guide they can grab. They can share. They can see reviews here. They can look at other popular posts here. They can access a multitude of videos here, a whole slew of videos that they're able to access, even our own video here. Okay, so again, there are multiple ways to share down here, up here, and at the top. So again, we're figuring this out. We do not have blogs effective yet, and I will let you know when we do, but these are some of the tactics we're using to actually have those kind of the kind of success we're looking for. About us, really much of the same. I'm not going to go through this. It's exactly the same thing that I've shown you guys with social proof, etc. And contact us is pretty simple as well. But again, our images are custom, right? Here's a lady that's looking at our website. You can see that crazy guy right here I told you about that used to be there. Here he is. And you could even see our phone number is on the cell phone that the person's holding. That's just simple graphics. If you don't have a graphics person, hire somebody on Upwork because they're super cheap, and you could use them like, they charge an hourly rate, like $9 an hour, $10 an hour. Well, it doesn't take very much time for them to make an image like this, 5 minutes to modify an image we bought on Shutterstock or one of those places. So it's very, very little time that we spend to have it customized. And you can see this, that we give people multiple ways. Here's phone, here's email, here's form, multiple ways to get in touch with us. So that kind of walks through some of the things we're doing that are working really well. Some of the things we're testing that we don't know if it'll work well or not, how we're tracking things. And if you use True Conversion, it's not just heat maps, by the way. You can also get video. So it shows like it's some like crazy drunk people. They like come to your website and they're like this and they scroll and they go, you can see on their videos what actual actions they're taking on your website. You can see that they came here and then they looked and they did this and they scrolled, they did this. You can see video what they're doing. So again, this kind of tracking becomes invaluable to see where are they clicking? Where are they scrolling? Where are they actually, taking actions? So you can see here, click, move, scroll, detailed report to see what's actually going on. So get your True Conversion to then test your theories to see if what's working works and what doesn't. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make changes to what's not working and then keep what is working. So hopefully this helps you. Again, I went through a lot of website stuff, of social media marketing world, traffic and conversion especially, and I wanted to share some of the cool tips that I saw, some of the cool tips or resources that we're using like True Conversion, even things like Proof that we're not yet using that we will be using. And again, I'll probably do another one 3-6 months down the road, another webinar on websites to come back and tell you how effective some of this other stuff is. Before then, I'm really anxious about testing, so tell us, and I will let you know how it is. And if it's effective, I'm going to bring Ron on here, my contact, to actually teach you guys a little bit more about how it works and even get you a free widget to put on your website, which you don't need me to do, by the way. I think you can go right to their website and get the free widget without me, but I will let you know and give you feedback on that. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. Otherwise, I am going to go ahead and wrap up. So we do have a change. We have changed from Modic over to a new marketing and automation platform. Our partners so far are loving the new integration. We're able to get it set up very quickly. That's all working very well. So I'm hoping that Jason on our development team can join us next Tuesday and take you a walk through the new marketing and automation platform. I don't know. I can't confirm because Jason's out of town right now, but my goal is that Jason can join you and I next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern to take a look at our new marketing automation platform. And it's going to be, we're making changes. It's even more affordable because we found a way to get it even cheaper for you guys. And then also, it does a lot of cool things, the same thing that Modic did. It just works, whereas Modic they just weren't able to do what they said they were going to do. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to creditsuite.com/marketing, and you can see our current marketing automation cat platform. And again, probably my goal next week is to get Jason in here to talk to you a little bit more about that. So I don't have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Hopefully you got some good information out of today. Remember, this only matters if you use it, but I've given you well more than 17. I've probably given you 30 plus tips on things you could do on the website. So go ahead, take action, see how some of these things work for you. And then if you have any questions or there's anything that we can do to help you succeed as you're selling business credit financing, which by the way, last month was a record month for all of you. It was almost double as much as any other month that we've ever had in the history of the company. So our partners are getting this. They're selling. You guys are out there doing a lot. You're bringing in more funding deals. We're funding more deals, SBA deals, term loans, lines of credit. And then we're seeing a lot of you sell business credit at a pace we've never seen people sell business credit. So great job to all of you. And I'll have more people coming on even within our team talk to you a little bit more about what they're finding things to be successful as well in the weeks to come. But hopefully next week we dive more into our marketing automation platform. No questions. I'm going to wrap up. If you do have questions, let us know. You can contact us at support@creditsuite.com. That's support@creditsuite.com, or just type in the chat in your back office, or I would say give us a call, but I can never remember our support number, although it is on the bottom of all the emails that you get. Thanks everybody very much. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.